In today's video, we're going to talk about best condo buildings in one of the underrated neighborhoods of City of Toronto. Many people have opinions on this neighborhood because at times it can get rough. But in my opinion, there are certain pockets within this neighborhood which are safe, vibrant, at the same time quiet too. So the neighborhood we're going to talk about is King Street East. So this video is part of an ongoing series with Tom Story where we discuss good condo buildings in different parts of the city. So if you get any value out of this content, please hit that like button and also please do subscribe to the channel. It really helps a small channel like this to grow. And if you got any questions about real estate, you can book a call with us by clicking on the first link mentioned in the description below. Now enjoy the video.
Okay, Amrit, welcome back. We're doing this again and we're focusing on King East today. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. All right, so let's just get right to it. We've each picked 5 condo buildings we like in King Street East that are our favorites. We have not told each other. And let's see how many similar ones that we have as we go through this. You want to get us started?
Yeah, so my first pick is going to be in the King East area. It's going to be 55 Ontario Street. It's a LAM development, solid developer. Was built in 2018 and the maintenance fees are reasonable in that building. And I recently checked, you can find a one bedroom sold for $475,000. Of course, it's a smaller one, but the layout is pretty efficient, so you don't feel cramped in that kind of condo. So overall, well-managed building. You do find a sense of community in that. The only downside I see is there's no subway stop or subway station close to this location or this building. But down the line, they're building up a Ontario line subway station closer from there, but that's way down the line. But overall, solid building in my opinion, and reasonably priced in today's market. But we'll see how the future growth looks like in the area and as well as for the building.
Yeah, 55 Ontario. We have several clients that bought in that building actually pre-construction, many years ago when they were launching it. It's one of the few in the area that's actually like tall. Like most of King Street East is like maybe you get to
Mid-rise.
15 stories, 12 to 15. Where this one goes up to the 25th floor, and I'm sure more will eventually come. If you like the soft loft style, kind of exposed ceilings look, then these Brad Lamb buildings will definitely fall on your list. So I did have 55 Ontario on my list as well. I like it. I think it's like one of those buildings, like if they put this building in King West, a lot more people will be talking about it.
For sure. It'll become popular, just like the 39 brand, they have it on the King West area.
Yeah, I think this would become a lot more popular if it was located slightly different, but I do think this area is growing and it's going in a pretty good direction. Okay, my next building is 138 Princess Street. This is called the East Lofts. It was initially built by Harhay Developments. Same idea. If you like the soft loft style, you're probably really going to like this building. I also really believe that if you took this building and you put it at King and Spadina, everyone will be talking about it all the time. Because it's a little bit more east, right? You're just kind of less people are aware of this building. I really like it. We've had quite a few listings in there over the years. Very boutique style. You walk in. I like the vibe of the building. There's some generous size 1-beds plus dens. There's some penthouse units that are like absolutely stunning. So yeah, 138 Princess. That's if I'm moving back to King East, because I used to live kind of around this area for a period of time, and I was buying a condo, that would certainly be on my list.
Yeah, that was on my list too. So it's a solid building. And also in that intersection, I like that intersection where it's located. It's quiet. You've got great coffee shops. You've got like a sense of vibrancy in that little pocket where it's located.
Grocery store is right next door, and they just opened a Firehouse Subs. If no one's had a Firehouse Subs recently. Okay, so that's my first one. What's next on your list?
The next one is 510 Cring Street East. It's a streetcar developments. It was opened in 2012, and maintenance fees in that building is reasonable. It's again soft loft vibe to it. So if you're looking for something unique, not a cookie cutter, I think this building is solid. And condos in this building trade at a slightly higher price point for like $1,000 to $1,050 per square foot because of its uniqueness, I think. And we don't see high turnover of condos selling in this building, or even for rentals too. We don't see much rentals of high turnover of rentals in this building. So this is my second building on the list.
Yeah, and it's a bit more east, right? It's like closer right to where the DVP is and the bridge is going over. So just something to keep in mind. It's a little bit more east than maybe some of the stuff that's a bit more central. That was one I had on my list, but I have some honorable mentions that I'll talk about instead. Next for me is 112 and 116 George Street. I don't know what it is. I've always just liked these buildings. It's called the View Condos. It was an Aspen Ridge development. You got all type of property sizes. Where it's located, some of the ones that like look back at the city and have that west view based on where it is on the corner there are great. One of the first, I guess not one of the first, but at least like one of the condos that we've had over 10 clients buy and sell in there over the years. We've been pretty active in that building, and I like it. I think it's run well. The concierge knows what they're doing. Even like something as small as like when you go there, you can drive into the roundabout in the building instead of like having to worry about parking on the side streets, and like it just is like a better overall experience. I agree with purchase in that building, sell in that building. I like it a lot.
It's a great building. Like layouts in that building, they're so solid. Like you don't feel it's not like another. It is, I would say, okay, cookie cutter condo, but it's not that super small.
Yeah.
Right. So you'll have a good living experience in those buildings. Yeah.
Definitely. So what's next on your list?
Next one is it's going to be an old building. It is 168 King Street, and it's again located at a King and Jarvis, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, that's the intersection there it's located at. And again, very vibrant. It's a little pocket which is very vibrant, but still it is safe because it's touching King and Jarvis. The building is old. This was built in 2000s, and that is why the maintenance fee is higher in this building. But on the flip side, the condos in this building sell or trade at a lower price point per square foot. It's going to, you can find a condo for about $850 to $900 per square foot, so that's reasonable. But the only downside of this building is higher maintenance fees. But the overall layout, they are good in this building.
There's always that trade-off where older buildings, you can buy them for less per square foot in terms of like the sale price, but then usually the maintenance fees are closer to $1 a square foot. And just to like put some context on maintenance fees, it's like ideally as real estate agents, we would like to see buildings, if they're not that old, have maintenance fees at like 80 cents a square foot, basically 80 to 85 is kind of normal these days. Once you cross over that $1 per square foot, it's like, okay, well, what trade-off do I get? Do I get better price per square foot on the actual purchase of the property? Is everything included in those maintenance fees, or do I still have to pay hydroelectricity? So I think that kind of like 80 to $1 per square foot is like a general range that we see. We start getting concerned as you go over $1 and you're not getting better value on the purchase price.
Absolutely. Because the units are bigger in this building, so we see a lot of downsizers in this building.
Yep.
And the owner to renter ratio is also solid. Like it's not like you'll see a lot of renters or a lot of owners. It's a good mix of ratio. So that's what I like. But yeah, on maintenance fees, you're absolutely right. For like $1 per square foot, up till that, it's fine. Beyond that, you'll have to contemplate if you want to go ahead with this building or no, or something like that.
Yeah. You're right. It's an end user building, 168 King Street East. Next on my list is a building that not very many people know about, and it's called the Abbey Lane Lofts. There's rarely anything for sale in it, and it's this really, really cool building. There might be less than 30 units. Like it's a really, really cool building. Stuff rarely comes up for sale, and I'm only saying it because like I think people should look it up, because it's really neat. And I've been in there once, which like says a lot, because like we're active, but there's nothing to ever show in there. So it's like, it's a really cool building that I don't think a lot of people are aware of. So one that I wanted to highlight in this video, because nobody talks about it because nothing ever comes up for sale.
That's totally, because we don't see anything showing up in that building at all.
No, like rarely.
Honestly, I've never been there. I've never been there. I'll be honest, but yeah.
It makes sense. There's hardly anything ever to show, right? Is there anything left on your list that we haven't talked about yet?
Yeah, it's 318 King Street East. Again, Brad development. This was built in 2013. Yes, if I'm not wrong, 2013, around that time.
Right in the corner there.
Yeah, and it's just opening right in front of the Ontario Line subway station. So that is a good plus in the long term. If you want to see long-term future growth, that's going to come in handy. And units have decent layout. Again, soft loft vibe to it. And it's not a high rise, it's a mid rise, and so therefore you have a good sense of community in the building. You don't have to wait for a long elevator. You don't have a long elevator lineup in the evenings. Okay, for sure, here and there you will see, but it's not going to be like other high rise buildings. So good building overall, in my opinion.
Really like that building. We've helped quite a few clients in that building
Yeah.
as well. Again, it's one of those ones that like it's just a solid building on the east end. You notice a bit of a trend here is like the ones that we're talking about are normally kind of mid-rise buildings because that's what most of King East is. You see a lot of the soft loft style, higher ceiling, exposed concrete in the area, other than really maybe like the 55 Ontario building, right?
Yeah, and these buildings, I feel they don't get much traction. Like not many people that talk about it. So I feel they are more of underrated buildings too in the city.
That's a really good point. So let's do some like rapid fire honorable mentions of other buildings that we like, but maybe just weren't on our top 5 list. So for me, I like 120 Parliament, the East United building. I think it's newer, so it's still going to take some time, but you can get some decent sized units in that building. It's located very well. I like that. I also like the Post House condo, 105 George Street, which is across from 112. That one, I guess, is actually a bit of a taller building for the neighborhood as well. And depending on the way that you view from it, you can get some pretty good views. And then you've got like 400 Adelaide Street East, 460 Adelaide Street East. So there's actually there's a ton of condos in this. We should have made this a top 10 list, honestly.
Yeah. and just to add to the list, there's 48 and 50 Power Street by Great Gulf. It's a newer building.
One.
Again, I have helped clients there too, and everyone has had a great experience in the building, managed well, clean, and layouts are decent. So like you'll have a good living experience in that too, in the East End. Yeah.
The final one I'll put is 80 Sherbourne, the Imperial Lofts. Again, not very many units in there. Really cool. There's one for sale as filming this video. It's not one that we're representing, but like really, really cool hard loft, true loft style spaces that if you don't mind your being able to see your bed from your kitchen, then it's a building that you might want to add to your list. I like this area. I think like, you know, when you're looking in the east of Yonge area for condos, you kind of have like your St. Lawrence Market stuff, which we've talked about in the previous video. Then you cross Jarvis and you kind of get to this King East area, which would be the design district, which is like the true name of the main part of the area there. It's much more quiet, but it's still got good restaurants. It's walking to everything. And I think people will be surprised how like from Union Station going west, you think Spadina is like really close to Union Station. Like a lot of people believe it. If you actually just looked at true distance going much further east and not actually much further, it feels like it's further, but you're actually closer to the downtown core when you actually look at how long the walk would be. And I feel like just not a lot of people are aware of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And also great amount of feedback I get from my clients is that it's not safe. East is not safe.
Yeah.
But this pocket is, I think it's gentrified a lot. It has become very nice in my opinion. Anything south of Queen or I would say Adelaide in that pocket is you're fine. Like you won't have problem.
You mean north of
safety.
Yeah, north of Queen is where it gets a little bit.
Yeah, it gets a little rough there. I totally agree with that. But and also at the Moss Park, they're setting up again. I keep mentioning about Ontario Line. They should pay me, but Ontario Line. They're setting up a Ontario Line station right at Moss Park, which used to be a little notorious Moss Park. Now, hopefully down the line, it gets gentrified and it might have a long-term growth in a positive way.
Well, thank you for watching another one of our best condo buildings in Toronto video. Let us know below. Do you agree with what we said? Is there any buildings we didn't talk about that you think should be on our list? Let us know why. You know, I want the comments of all these videos to be interactive and that someone can watch this and then go down to the comments and see what other people are saying. Because as we've said in all of our videos, this is just our opinion. Thank you for watching, and we will see you all soon.